questions about stuff like that. Do people really get raped in prison? And just all kind of things on that subject. So I'll address the few that I feel like was asked by multiple different people. Number one, do people really get raped in prison? Now, the real answer to that question is yes. I know a lot of people say, man, that stuff don't happen no more because there's too many homosexuals in there for people to try to, do something like that. That's not true at all. Now, what I can say about it is it doesn't happen as often as maybe it did in the 80s and in the 90s. I know for a fact they had a prison that is now a women's prison. It's called Alto. And I'm not sure the exact reasons they tore it down. I mean, not tore it down, but I'm not sure why they moved it from a male facility to a female facility. Some people say because so many people was getting raped, they couldn't keep up with it. But to me, that kind of don't make sense because if they wanted to just gang up and do it again at any other prison, they would. It wouldn't matter the specific prison. So I don't know why it went from male to female. But I do know from hearing multiple stories over and over and over and over the years that at this one specific prison called Alto, it was groups, like gangs of people. They'd get deep together, and that's just what they did to people that came in, people that was new. They said they specifically targeted light-skinned people, and the dark-skinned people was kind of like spared a little bit. They didn't really mess with them. But from all the stories over the years I've been hearing is like when you went to this prison called Alto, it was like basically, you know how they got the saying where they say get down or lay down? It's basically like that. Like they saying either you finna let us do this, either we finna do this to you, or you finna help us do this to other people. Which one? And they say like that was the option people was giving you. Now I don't know, but I know a lot of people that was there told me that part is very, very, very true. So that's crazy. I just thank the Most High I didn't come in prison during a time like that because I know somebody would have died. Either it'd have been me or one of them, because you're not about to make me do nothing, and you definitely not about to make me go do something. That's just crazy. But back to the subject. Yes, people do get raped in prison. Now, like I said, it's not as often. Like I was in there like 9 years, and I think I've probably heard of a rape about 4 or 5 times out of 9 years. So, what was another question? Well, it wasn't a question. It was more so like a comment where they were saying there's so many homosexuals in there that people get raped. Hey, listen, man. Listen, if that was true, okay, this is how I can prove to you real quick and real easy that that's not true. That there's so many people willingly living like that in there that they shouldn't have to do that. The reason that's not true is because that's just like me saying, oh, it's so many females out here on the streets that ain't nobody gonna rape nobody and catch no rape charge. There's so many females that like men and men that like women. Ain't no man gonna catch no rape charge, but guess what? It happens every day. And niggas still out here raping females, and there's a million females that like niggas. So that means nothing. Now, the very first time I ever heard about it or anything, the reason I say I witnessed it is because of the proximity, how close the rooms were together. You see what I'm saying? Now it's like, in the back of every cell is a vent. It's a long vent. However long your wall is, there's a vent on the wall. It's probably about this high. And at the top of it, it got a whole bunch of holes in it. And it stretches out to the length of the wall. From one wall to one wall, the vent is touching it. Now you got 2 cells in the room on each side. You got a room on your right, you got a room on your left. And you can actually talk to people through the vent. You can hear loud and clear what's going on in the room next door if you just listen in the vent. And sometimes you get closer. That's if you like talking to your homeboy or something like if we in the hole or we on lockdown and I'm trying to talk to the dude in the room next to me. I could just lay in my bed and yell from the bed, but I'm gonna have to be struggling to listen. But if you go up to the vent, it sounds so loud like a person right there in your face. But if you're making a lot of noise in your room and the other person in his room is in his bed minding his business, he'll hear you loud and clear because the vent is just so close. But if y'all trying to have just a normal tone conversation, yeah, you're gonna have to walk up to the vent and hear what's going on. But it's very, very close. You hear your neighbors all day talking through the vent. So it was these guys in the dorm. They was actually roommates, and they used to always get into it all the time. They stayed arguing. And their arguments wasn't like something amongst themselves that we didn't really know about. It was like loud, crazy type arguments. Like they get mad, like when they get mad at each other, they go to talking reckless to each other, calling each other bitch ass nigga, pussy ass nigga. One nigga told him somebody's mama, just something crazy. And I'm like, damn, bro, these people be really talking crazy to each other. Now, I feel like the biggest red flag in that whole sense was one of the guys was like, man, probably like 5'4", 5'5". He was a real short little dude. The other dude, I'm 5'11". He had me by a couple inches. He had to be every bit of 6'3". And he worked out every day. He was cut up, muscles everywhere, tatted up everywhere. And, they stayed arguing. They so-called themselves got fighting one day. And the big dude was laughing because the little dude came out of the room talking crazy. Whoop, 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 whoop. He was laughing and stuff. And it just was kind of weird. It just kind of didn't sit right with me. Now, this is a reason why I feel like people shouldn't play what they call fuck games. Now, they got some in prison. Now, I'm not speaking for every prison because I know lingo be different, but they got some in the Georgia prison, what they call fuck games. And what that basically means is they play games as if they're gay, but appearing like they're not like that for real. So it'll be a heterosexual looking person, a normal looking person, and he might be talking to his homeboy, and they might be joking around and playing, and then he might be like, well, that looking fat. And then they'll laugh, what you gay for? Nah, what you gay for? And they call it the fuck games. And, you know, that's another thing you got to be real, very, very, very cautious about. To certain doors, you just don't open certain doors. If you're not interested in this going somewhere that can make you uncomfortable, the easiest thing to do, nip it in the bud from the dribble. You know what I'm saying? Don't even play no. I think probably my second year in, once I learned everything, it was a dude I was cool with. I'm trying to remember exactly what did he say. He said something. He said something crazy. It wasn't nothing too crazy, but it was crazy because I see where it was trying to go. But I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said something on the lines of like you might just say anything. Like you might be like, I'm gonna just give you an example. You might say some shit like, hell yeah, well, I was brushing my teeth, goddamn swallowed some of the toothpaste. And if it's somebody that play those type of games with you, when you say the word swallow, they might be like, well, what the fuck, well, you gay here? And they'll laugh it off, you know, like it's a joke. So that was on the lines of something that dude said probably like my first 2 years in, and I just nipped it in the bud right then and there. I just told him, hey, bro, I fuck with you, but I don't play the fuck games. We not gonna do none of that. We just not gonna do none of that. So he was like, bro, I respect it. You know, I ain't trying you, and none of these niggas be playing like that. I'm like, yeah, that's what y'all want to do. That's perfectly fine. I personally just don't play like that because I'm not gonna say I believe wholeheartedly that behind every joke is a form of seriousness, because I make jokes all the time and it ain't no seriousness in it, but it is a truth to that, but it's not truth wholeheartedly. So, but I just don't feel like that's the way I should be playing with no grown ass men that I don't know, that I just met in the prison. I don't know what you niggas locked up for. We just not gonna play games like that, buddy. Now, when people play games like that, me personally, I look at the percentage of possibility that there's seriousness behind it. And I be like, man, shit. Now, the big dude and the little dude, after they get into it, and I just told you they had got into a fight. And the little dude came out sweating. He had a little scratch on his forehead. Other dude came out. He was just sweating. I think his lip was like kind of fat down here. And he was laughing. He was like, yeah, I let you do that. I let you do that with your little fine ass, with your sex ass. I let you do that. So everybody in the dorm bust out laughing like it was funny. They like, ha, man, he's stupid, man, he crazy. So the little short dude, he like, yeah, whatever, nigga, gay ass nigga. That's what he's saying to him. But he just was saying that because he was mad, because I witnessed him with my own 2 eyes playing those type of games too. So he played them games, but he just was mad, so he was just talking shit. So probably about 2 days later, the little short dude had the tissue in the door. And the big dude was coming from outside. Now, when you put the tissue in the door in prison, if I'm trying to use the bathroom, I need any level of privacy, I throw some tissue and pull the door up. So the person on the outside of the door sees the tissue hanging, and he knows, do not disturb. I'm in here doing something, so don't come in there. So I was standing outside my cell, man, and I was rolling up a bugler cigarette. I'll never forget this. This shit stuck with me because it was so strange to me. Matter of fact, I had just started smoking these little cigarette roll-ups called buglers back then. And I was standing outside the door rolling it up. The dude came in the door. He walked. Once he got closer to his door, he looked. He went shaking his head. Like he caught an attitude instantly. I'm assuming because he was ready to go straight into his room. Now he can't go in because he's waiting on his roommate. Him knowing I don't even play them type of games, he looked at me. He was like, hey, Bill. Now, I don't really talk to him just because he play a lot of games. And for me to avoid trouble, if I know you play like this with everybody, I'm going to stay away from you. So that way, at no point will you ever feel like playing games with me like that is okay. So he said, hey, Bill. I look at him. I'm like, what's up, bro? He said, how long, bro, had the tissue in the door? I'm like, nigga, what the fuck? I'm not no door watcher, nigga. I don't know. So I just told him, like, bro, I don't know. I ain't paying attention to nobody but myself. So he like, all right, say less. So he walked up to the door, went to knocking on the door. He like, hey, bro, you using the bathroom? So dude was like, yeah. And man, he said, no, you ain't, with your little sex ass. You in there trying to beat your little meat. It's all right. I'm going to beat it later on for you. So the dude inside the room bust out laughing. Everybody else in the dorm that heard it, that was close, bust out laughing. I just looked at him like, what the fuck? I just didn't think it was funny. I'm not knocking nobody that plays them games, that feels as if shit like that is comical. Hey man, that's your business. To me, personally, it wasn't funny. All right, so probably about 2 or 3 hours later, there was a big stabbing popped off in another dorm between 2 gangs. Now, whenever a big stabbing between